I'm going to call this meeting to order of the Woburn School Committee for February 25th, 2026. If you are able, please join us in standing to salute the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would the superintendent, secretary to the school committee, please call the roll?
Ms. Chisholm.
Here.
Ms. Crowley.
Present.
Mr. Morenin.
Present.
Ms. Nagel.
Present.
Mr. Oliveira.
Present.
Ms. Wetzel.
Present.
Ms. Cormier.
And present. Please note that this meeting is being live streamed by Woburn Public Media Center, and by speaking you consent to be recorded. Please silence all phones and other devices. First item on our agenda is public comment. Does we have anyone in the audience that would like to come before the committee and speak? Now is your time to do so.
No, they're an agenda item.
They're excited.
We knew they were coming.
No, that's good.
Please state your name and, Woburn for the record, and you have up to 3 minutes to speak. Please refrain from any attacks on Woburn Public Schools employees. And note we are unable to respond as this is public comment and was not on the agenda.
My name is Amanda Ruderman, and along with Brian Harnden, Mary Petaruto, and Nicole Valiant, who could not be here tonight, I'm advisor for the Joyce Middle School Theater Program. This year, we are producing our 7th musical, The Wizard of Oz Youth Edition. Our high school directors, Camilla Hassan, Sophia Mazer, Lucy Rondo, and Maeve Sheehy, cannot make it tonight due to a scheduling conflict, but that will not stop us from sharing about how proud we are of the 4 of them for all that they have done the last 2 years to continue the legacy of the high school students, leading the middle school students in our theater program. These Woburn High juniors, who many of you met last year while we were here for public comment, have been leading our middle school cast with all of the songs, dances, and scenes at rehearsal every day, going back to December. They are also in charge of all the sets, props, and costumes for the show as well. And most importantly, they do all of this with love and kindness, creating a community where students can be themselves and support each other in the performing arts.
We hope to see the whole community at our musical, The Wizard of Oz Youth Edition, this year. We'll have 3 performances. The first will be on Friday, March 13th at 7 p.m., and 2 more performances on Saturday, March 14th at 12 and 4 p.m. The shows will be right down the hall in the Joyce Auditorium, and we'll be offering concessions for donation at each performance. Tickets are $10 for adults and $5 for kids. You can reserve them ahead of time using the QR code on our poster, along with other advertisements and announcements that we're pushing out across the city. But you can also reserve and pay for your seats in person when you arrive. But tickets are selling swiftly, so we recommend trying to get your tickets ahead of time. Any questions, email me, Brian Harnden, at bharnden@woburnps.com.
This year we have 57 students in our cast, along with many other middle schoolers and high schoolers who have come back to the Joyce to help out on our stage crew. The students in our JMS theater program have worked extremely hard at each rehearsal to learn the songs, dances, and scenes that our high school directors have been teaching. They are a lot of fun to work with, and they are ready to perform to the best of their ability. Finally, we'd like to thank the community for all of your support you have given us, our program, our performances, and our students year after year. It means so much to all of us and our students, and it inspires us to keep on working to make our show the best it can be. We invite you all to come see our show and support students who participate. To many of our students, they have described our program as a second home. And if there is one thing that this show teaches us, it's that there's no place like home. So, we invite you into our home to see what makes our students so special. We hope to see you on March 13th and 14th, somewhere over the rainbow. Aww. Thank you for your time this evening.
Thank you very much. Are there any other public...
Everyone gets a poster. I'll stick around and see afterwards.
Does anyone else have a public comment for this evening? Going once? And good. All right. I have a consent agenda next on the agenda. Do we have any motion? Action?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion on the matter? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. City Council liaison to the school committee is unable to make it tonight due to blizzard conditions, so he sends his love. Student representative, I do not see Caitlin. She's probably at a wrestling meet. And reports and presentations.
Probably winning a wrestling meet.
She's probably crushing it at a wrestling meet.
That's what I hear.
Reports and presentations of the superintendent and staff. Dr. Crowley.
Sure. So at this time, I would like now to call up the Woburn Memorial High School Best Buddies program. So thank you for coming tonight. If you could, when you get settled, just introduce yourself. Maybe tell us your name, what grade you're in, what activities you do. The advisor is Miss Murphy and Miss Morgan, who is not feeling well tonight, but we're glad to have you here, and so I'll turn it over to you.
Hi, I'm Sylvia Tivier, and I'm in a junior year in high school. I'm Anna Johnson, and I'm a junior.
I'm Jack Gately. I'm a postgrad student.
How long have you guys been Best Buddies for?
I've been in Best Buddies since freshman year. I've also been in since freshman year.
In middle school.
And I'm Jess Murphy. I'm the advisor of the Best Buddies program along with Sarah Morgan.
Good evening. Thank you.
Do you want to just, sorry, I just want you to move the mic towards you so that everybody, make sure everybody can hear you. Awesome, thank you.
Good evening. Thank you to Dr. Crowley for inviting the Woburn Memorial High School's Best Buddies program to come speak about our last event, the Best Buddies Prom. Our names are Sylvie, Anna, and Jack, and we are all members of the leadership team of Best Buddies this year. If you are unsure, Best Buddies is a club that at Woburn Memorial High School to promote friendship, inclusion, and opportunities for students with developmental and intellectual disabilities. Best Buddies held a prom at Woburn Memorial High School on February 11th. We had about 100 students from Winchester, Rowley, Wakefield, Wilmington, and Newburyport in attendance. It was a night of a great dinner, dancing, and hanging out with friends. We wanted to give a huge shout out to DJ Dan McGuire, the 30 Woburn High staff members, and 3 school committee members who came to help out and see what Best Buddies is all about. The support that the Woburn community continues to provide year after year is truly remarkable. We hope to see you all at any events going forward. Now we wanted to give our member, Jack Gately, a minute to share his favorite parts of Best Buddies.
My favorite thing about Best Buddies, making friends, going to the prom, trunk or treat, and pizza party, playing basketball at open gym, eating ice cream, doing the holiday party.
That's nice.
And I just wanted to say, too, this is our second year of doing unified sports through Woburn High. So this season, the winter is bowling. So we do bowling every Monday night at King's in Burlington. We have about a little under 20 students who come every week from 4 to 6, and we compete against all the other Middlesex League towns. So it's really, really awesome. If you're ever leaving work between 4 and 6, we'll be there every Monday of March. It's a really, really cool thing. And then in April and May, we do unified basketball, that's when we get on the bus and travel to the other towns too. So it's a really cool opportunity for all of our students. And it's a really good opportunity for our athletes too, because it also gives them a chance to give out to the rest of their community when they really can't be involved in their sports. And they can be in a normal MIA sport and also help with us, so that really helps. But we appreciate you guys having us come tonight, and I hope you guys are in and out quick.
Are you able to take questions
Yeah.
before you take off? All right. Was that a
Yeah, I'll brave you.
Madam Vice Chair?
Hi, guys. Nice to see you tonight. I was just wondering what inspired you to join Best Buddies, and what do you like about it? All of you can answer, or one of you can answer if you feel comfortable.
I wanted to join Best Buddies really for just the inclusivity it has and just the support system it brings to Woburn Memorial High School. And I just think it's a really good opportunity to explore different friendships with individuals that are intellectually challenged sometimes. And I just have a lot of fun at all the events and everything.
Do you think that being on Best Buddies is going to help you choose a career in this sort of field, or?
When I grow up, I really want to go into psychology, and I want to be a psychiatrist or go into the medical field, so definitely that.
That sounds amazing. Thank you so much for answering my question. And if anyone else wants to answer, they can go ahead.
I like joining Best Buddies because I like the community it provides, and like the events are just a way to take my mind off of schoolwork and hang out with people like my friends and Jack and other friends I've made.
Awesome.
Nice.
And Jack, it seems like you like the ice cream. Is that right? Awesome. Thank you. That's all I had, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Ms. Wetzel?
Just wanted to say thank you guys for being here. I was honored to be at your prom a few weeks back. It was so much fun. Everyone looked absolutely fantastic. I found myself tapping my foot, not really dancing. Your guys' moves were fabulous. And I've been to the trunk or treat as well, which is, it's really, I think, an awesome experience and opportunity that we have for our community. And I brought my kids with me actually to the trunk or treat, so I think it's also great for everybody to get to experience some of the things that we do at our high school and how inclusive that we are and the diverse population of students that we have. So just thank you all for showing up here tonight and telling us a little bit more about what you do. And is there anything, and anyone can answer this question too, anything on the school committee side that we might be able to do to help support you or help spread the good word? Anything that you can think of? No pressure, but if you can think of something.
Do you want me to answer? Yeah. I think a big thing, so I'm glad you brought up the trunk or treat. Obviously, all the elementary schools do a trunk or treat, and we really wanted to create something for high school students to feel comfortable, to dress up for Halloween and still be able to trick or treat. That's something we really want to make into like a really big community event rather than just our high school. So maybe that's something we can circle back to in September, because we do reach out to a lot of businesses and we want other people to sponsor a car or stuff like that because it's a huge fundraiser for us. We pay for all of our events through our fundraising. So all the different people who either donated raffles, bought raffle tickets, or brought their cars, we charged a small fee. So I think it would be really cool to make that more of a Woburn community event rather than just a high school event. So that's kind of our vision for that. It got a little bit bigger this year, so I'm hoping each year it gets bigger and bigger.
I love that. So the City Hall puts on a trick-or-treat every year, and they incorporated this past year the downtown businesses as well. So I know yours is on a separate date, but it could be worthwhile connecting with Samantha Stone inside the mayor's office.
She came to ours this year,
yeah.
which was awesome.
Yes, she did. She had a trunk. And then the Boys and Girls Club do one as well.
Yes.
So I don't know if there's a way to like everybody coordinate to sort
definitely. That would
make
be cool if we did them all on the same day in the same lot even, too.
And you can even, I was thinking the same thing. You can reach out to the principals at all the buildings, and they can send out the trunk or treat through the s'mores newsletter, so that way parents of the whole community are aware. And
especially in the area too. Like it's an easy thing if you live right near the high school and you can come right over. So.
Yes, and there's plenty of parking.
Yeah,
just wait.
And
then I chair Student Services and Achievements SSA subcommittee.
Yep.
So when it's up to coming close to October, we can reach out
and
maybe have you guys come in and chat a little bit, and happy to spread the word that way as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else with any questions for our folks? Mr. Mulrennan?
Thank you, Madam Chair. If I could, thanks for coming out tonight. At the prom, I noticed there was two outside gentlemen over in the back corner there. And believe it or not, those two gentlemen were from Best Buddies. What do they call themselves, Jess? The best.
They're our chapter advisors.
Yeah.
Yes.
So these two gentlemen were the chapter advisor for the district and chapter advisor for the
state
community and the state. So I think, to have a program like we have here in Woburn, growing and growing, and speaking with these gentlemen and seeing the other schools that came to our prom at Woburn Memorial High School, and these guys were blown away at the number of kids that were there, the number of other schools that came, and the food and the dancing was an unbelievable event. But I wanted to give a plug out to the Best Buddies district and chapter folks that came out and saw what we're doing here at Woburn High. So you guys are not, being unrecognized and being notable for what they're doing up there. So I appreciate that as well. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Mrs. Chisholm?
Were either one of you at the Joyce and joined the Best Buddies here? Or high school was where you started? Yeah.
What school did you go to?
Joyce.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Good job. Maybe we can get it going at the Kennedy and have more interest coming along.
Might have started this year. Or they're
Okay.
trying to get it up and moving because we try to work closely with Joanne, Miss Young, as they come up. and try to get them to a couple of the events in the spring so it's an easier transition.
Great. So that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, thank you. Dr. Crowley, do you have any closing remarks?
Yeah, just thank you for coming, and it's not just the prom. I think what you do year-round is great, so appreciate you coming. I was at the high school, I think there was popcorn at a coloring event. Do I have it?
Christmas.
Christmas, right.
Holiday, yes.
Holiday event.
Yep, you
And
usually
so
come and bring candy canes.
Anytime there's food, it's always a good event.
Yes.
But how many students total, do you know off the top of your head are involved?
We have about 65 general ed students and probably about 25 buddies.
Yeah.
And that's like a lower number for us. We normally are in the 100 range. But for each event, we usually have anywhere between 40 and 60 kids.
Yeah.
So
That's
it's awesome.
great.
We don't struggle with getting people to come. Everyone's always there, which is great.
And food is an incentive, so.
Yes, and food is at every event. So we usually have to get pizza.
Yeah. Well, that's great. And I'm going to, honestly, I'm going to send out an invite to Middlesex superintendents to join on a Monday afternoon if we can.
That would be, that's a great idea.
To try to, everybody get together
Yep.
and meet at King's.
Yep, the ADs usually do that once
Yeah.
or twice during it.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
And there's pizza there too. So there's
Well, there we go.
So you're perfect.
And you see a theme.
Superintendent Bull.
But I do, we do, as a league, do get together, and
Yeah.
why not have a meeting there
Right,
with
yeah,
you?
that'd be
So
great.
that'd be great.
Bowling league.
Yeah.
Well, thank
So
you so
thank
much,
you for
guys, for
coming.
coming.
All right, good job.
Great. All right, next on our agenda is the buffer zone policy as a discussion item.
There you go.
So policy JC, attendance areas, was tabled last meeting, and we've had some time to review. If anybody has any discussion on the matter, any questions, comments, concerns. Otherwise, we can move this along to action at our next meeting, March 10th. Any insight into this? No edits?
That was good.
I think it was good as well. Thank you.
I'll add,
Please, Madam.
I'll just
Vice
add
Chair.
that resources, carefully read it line by line, and we made a recommendation to push it to a full question to the committee. So just because there's no robust discussion, we vetted it pretty strongly.
And there's no typos, so.
And there's no typos.
Very important.
And I want to add that, again, it's a pilot, so we're not going to get too much in the weeds on the details and setting up procedures and policy, procedures and protocols that we might not need yet. And so we see it as a simply permitting admin to create buffer zones, and then we will continue to oversee them.
And then revisit this in the winter, was it?
Yes.
It will also, I believe, the plan would be to also review it in the advisory process that we start
Yes.
in the fall. So when we look yearly at the redistricting and all of that, we'll add this to looking. But it probably will need a little bit more time to kind of see how it rolls. But
Yeah.
the plan is to look at it yearly as part of the process
Right.
of looking at all of it.
Okay, great.
Can I?
Yes.
Just a quick question on that. I know that there was the discussion of making sure some of those smaller components were merged.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that part of that buffer zone, that is how it's going to happen. Like the smaller buffer zones that have 4 or 5 kids, that we just keep them in the larger group.
Yeah, my second question too, that's, I don't know if we want to do both at once or separate, because I know we're talking about the policy. The second thing I need to have confirmed tonight is also the map. So, and I think that's right in terms of just, if you want me to keep all of the zones, or if you wanted it to be me not including all of them, which is what we looked at last time.
Is that a answer
But I
that you
don't
need
know if
tonight?
No.
So-
That's why the policy itself, we can, there. The second part was confirming whether you want me to keep all of the components or not on the map.
Okay. Does anyone have any?
That's why I didn't know if you wanted me to, if we wanted, that's why I was going to wait, but to answer your question.
Yeah.
That's
I
what
think-
I was going to do, if you want to do the language part first,
Yep.
you can do that part, and then we can talk about
Well, it's good
that.
to know that that's coming too, so we can start mulling that over.
Yes.
Also with the. Okay, great. Yeah, so we will hold off on that part.
Can I just ask, just so that understand when we're talking about keeping all of the components in the map, just like all of the buffer zones that we've identified, keeping those, all of those as buffer zones that we will be reviewing, come again in this process in the fall to see if any of the components within those buffer zones need to be potentially, if they're coming online new, be placed in one or another school. That's what we're agreeing to.
So I guess my question would be, and you let me know, Ms. Cormer, what you want me to do. Do you want to do the language part first and then maybe answer map questions, or do you want me to do answer map questions right now too?
If you have an answer to the map questions that you feel comfortable with, hit
Sure.
us.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean,
So
I'm
sooner
happy
the better on that.
I just want to make it, whatever is easier for everyone, for the group. So when I presented the policy last week, and I had met with the advisory committee that Monday, and I shared with the group, as I shared kind of the language questions, which for the most part, the language was fine. I think the only thing that had been kind of the conversation that it has happened is whether we wanted to talk about the timeline of notification of family. And so that was what I anticipated, was if there was any kind of suggestion or thought there. And then the other part was related to the components for the buffer zones themselves. And right now, all of the buffer zones that were recommended to us by Sanborn on the map are the ones that are on the current one that I presented at the subcommittee. They're the ones that I shared with the advisory committee, and then the ones I brought forward. And I think there's pros and cons to either map. Ultimately, and this is not really my favorite answer, this is why I was asking if you wanted me to go down my map answer, is that we are looking at this every year. And so like the conversation we have next year will be dependent on what enrollment looks like. It's going to be looking at all of the components. Like we're really talking about this in a year-to-year space, because we know that we look every time, which is why we do the entire process of analyzing maps until, of course, which is, I believe, the second part of this evening, until we have a building in which we are going to the completed map at the end. And so really the question is, and again, I think that the way that the policy is written is that there is no intention on having a student who is by themselves in the middle of one of these buffer zone components be districted by themselves to another building, right?
From across the component.
Yes, the point of the policy is that we look at kind of a group of students. So kind of to your question, Mr. Oliveira, is that in terms of like the little components, what we were saying is if we weren't going, it's either if we want to have H3 and the kind of the connected components that stay, and not include the H2 lane, or if we want to just have them all there, recognizing that we're going to utilize the streets and the parts of that component that make the most sense first. It's not just going to be a student on their own that gets redistricted by themselves. And I think recognizing that the use of the buffer zones is primarily for our incoming kindergarten group. And so similar to how we looked at it when we used A4 last year, like it wasn't like we just had one kindergartner get enrolled at the Linscott and everybody else went to the Alta Vesta. It was that a group of students were enrolled together so that they were staying together as a cohort, because they'll be with each other all the way up, right? And so it's really a matter of, I'm happy to keep the map as is, use it as that, but because I had not brought the map previously, as part of looking at this policy, I just wanted to bring to the group whether you wanted me to relook at them or not. I don't know if that answers the question.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that that's what we were talking about. Like,
yes,
looking at all those components and keeping them as they are, or
if you wanted me to potentially not include all of those components, the H3, H2, 5, and 4. But to answer your question, if I were to remove any, it would not be like I'm going to leave a component out there by itself. We're going to be leaving the littler components connected, either connected staying or connected going, but they would make sense within the flow of the roads. And again, Sanborn would really do that part. If we were going to go back and have me take some off, I would go through with them and they'd make a recommendation to me to provide to all of you of finalizing what that would look like. Or that we can just keep them all.
So is this something we would need to vote on? next time?
So you don't need to vote. It's really more of a recommendation, is my understanding. I'm looking for you because ultimately it's.
I think the policy you need to vote
The
on.
policy,
but-
yeah,
we will do.
The map is,
Right,
the map is listed in the policy.
Which, right, it's
Okay.
embedded. Right.
Yes,
Okay.
as part of the subcommittee, I was asked to get feedback on the map from the advisory group. I'm sharing the feedback that I was provided, and from there, it's a matter of just, I guess, a direction under, because the map is part of it. I think that's my understanding.
Great. And so we can mull that over for our vote. So that map is part, it's attached to the policy. So,
Yes.
perfect.
So we don't need a motion for tonight?
No, we just discuss or
discussed.
don't discuss. We have an opportunity to discuss. And any other questions, comments, concerns? Nope. So, nope. Yes, Ms. Wetzel.
Related to, I guess it's sort of adjacent. Mr. Lipsett was on the advisory committee with me. So currently, I'm the only school committee member on the advisory committee. So I don't know if we would like to have someone else be on it with me for company.
Is there
Company.
I would.
Does
like-
anyone volunteer to join Ms. Wetzel? When do you meet? It's Mondays?
So the meetings are more heavily in the fall.
Yeah.
And then more regularly. And right now, unless there's anything else that needs to go back to that group, we won't necessarily have any more meetings this year.
Okay.
But you would anticipate having 3 or 4 meetings come the fall.
And no established date as of right now? Like that could be...
No, we typically start once we have fall enrollment settled, because we try not to look at anything until we know the exact numbers. And so typically right around October is when we'll start our first meeting. And then we give the recommendation to the school committee by the end of December. So it's really October, November, December.
And we offered hybrid options too. So.
Ms. Nagel, would you like to join?
I would love to join.
And you are appointed.
Thank you.
You are quite welcome. No other comments on buffer zone policy, the BZP? Next up, we have the MSBA Statement of Intent, vote anticipated. Why don't I pass the gavel to my vice chair?
Oh, sure.
And I can just go over what we're doing here. So as you... Thank you. As you may be aware, especially because we have 2 new members that were not part of the vote that we took in November, we had at the time voted for to give the superintendent permission to fill out a statement of intent to the MSBA, but we listed the 2 schools together, and we have to submit them as 2 separate documents, and that's how it was presented to the city council. And so, that being said, I would like to make a motion. Ms. McLeod, you have this language, so you don't have to type fast. This is what it's going to say. I'm going to make a motion to authorize the superintendent of schools to submit to the MSBA the SOI dated April 2026 for the Mary D. Altavesta Elementary School located at 980 and a half Main Street, which describes and explains the following deficiencies in the priority categories for which an application may be submitted to the MSBA in the future. 1. To replace or renovate a building which is structurally unsound or otherwise in a condition seriously jeopardizing the health and safety of school children where no alternative exists. 2. To eliminate existing severe overcrowding. 3. To prevent severe overcrowding expected to result from an increased enrollment. 4. To replace or add to obsolete buildings in order to provide for a full range of programs consistent with state and approved local requirements. And hereby further specifically acknowledges that by submitting this statement of interest form, the MSBA in no way guarantees the acceptance or the approval of an application, the awarding of a grant, or any funding commitment from the MSBA, or commits the City of Woburn to filing an application for funding with the MSBA.
Second. Oh, I'm a chair.
Oh, second.
Okay, Madam Chair.
Oh. Is there? Wow. Is there any deliberation on that motion? Yes,
I
Ms.
just-
Wetzel.
No.
I just saw her first. Sorry, Ms. Wetzel.
Okay. Question: do we need to add on the ECP to either of these again?
I think that motion stands from
The
the
other
previous, yeah.
So it's still on there. We just don't need to vote on that today.
Right, because
Okay.
these are just talking about the deficiencies of the buildings themselves and not what our plan is.
Got it. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Because that was my question to, because it said to replace or renovate. What if they said they'll let us renovate?
Well, I have to make, can I answer?
Dr. Crowley.
Ultimately, I have to make a priority decision.
Okay.
And so, and we know what that decision will be. So renovation is not going to be the preferred option, is the language that they use. And so it would be a consolidation, not a renovation.
Okay, so they know that this is our intent to combine both. Okay. Because I just don't want to do this and say, well, this is what you submitted to us. Now we're going to give you money to renovate. And then.
Hopefully it's a lot.
We'll see how much that is going to be.
Are there any further questions for the,
Change from pink to blue.
Not a question, can
Sure,
I add to
deliberation,
the response?
Of course.
It's also the level of deficiencies in the buildings. The renovation would be so incredibly expensive that it's like the MSBA evaluates that too, correct? And so they see the value of their money going down the drain.
Correct.
In trying to patch up something that is severely broken.
Right.
Yes.
So the MSBA, the deficiency or renovations, it's the accelerated repair program. So it's a completely different option that we would be opting into. And so, and it's not even an option for us to apply for this year. So they know where.
And
where
this is just a list of the qualifiers for us being able to apply
Correct.
to the MSBA. It is not what we are saying is what's happening with these two buildings. It's just we have to meet like the criteria of we can apply to replace or to renovate, to eliminate existing, to prevent severe overcrowding, like to do this. But it doesn't mean that it's just one of these. Does that make sense?
If I could answer through the chair.
Yes.
These are the ones we chose.
Yeah.
Based on the list that they have of rationales. So
Correct, but it's not one of these.
Nope.
Like,
This is all
that's
of
what
it.
I'm saying.
It's
When he
all-
fills out his
correct.
application,
Yes, yes.
he's going to have all the
Yes.
feasibility information.
Correct.
It's like
Yes.
17 pages.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
These are all of the things that are wrong, not
Yeah.
one of the things
Yeah.
that are wrong.
Not just because we have too many.
Yeah, correct.
Any further questions or deliberations? Okay, let's call the vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none.
Madam Chair, I would like to make a motion to authorize the superintendent of schools to submit to the Massachusetts School Building Authority the SOI dated April 2026 for the Lynn Scott Rumford Elementary School located at 86 Elm Street, which describes and explains the following deficiencies and the priority categories for which an application may be submitted to the MSBA in the future. 1, to replace or renovate a building which is structurally unsound or otherwise in a condition seriously jeopardizing the health and safety of school children where no alternative exists. 2, to eliminate existing severe overcrowding. 3, to prevent severe overcrowding expected to result from increased enrollments. 4, to replace or add to obsolete buildings in order to provide for a full range of programs consistent with state and approved local requirements, and hereby further specifically acknowledging that by submitting this statement of interest form, the MSBA in no way guarantees the acceptance or the approval of an application, the awarding of a grant or any funding commitment from the MSBA, or commits the City of Woburn to filing an application for funding with the MSBA.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Any deliberation on that motion? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Seeing none, that motion passes.
Do we need a roll call on this?
You need a what now, sorry?
Do we need a roll call vote on these? You don't think so? Okay.
It was pretty unanimous.
Yeah.
I just
Madam
want
Vice Chair, would you like to make a comment?
to make a motion that in the event that this date, SOI dated April 2026, is simply a placeholder, that we authorize the superintendent and/or the chair to adjust the date to the actual SOI.
Second.
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
And that's for,
All right, next on the agenda, FY '27 budget timeline.
Sure. So we are in the process now of creating our FY27 budget and was asked to give publicly a timeline. So working backwards, typically the city asks us to submit the budget to City Hall by May 1st. And so we have to have a public hearing before we can submit the budget to City Hall. And so April 29th is our target date for the public hearing. The May 1st is a target date. If it, we've had situations where it's been May 8th or something to that effect, but really on the city side, the mayor likes time to work with the city council on not just the school budget, but on the entire budget before it goes down to city council for a vote. And so with that being said, you can see a list of the meetings that we have had. We were scheduled to have had a meeting on Monday, but we were otherwise occupied this past week. So we are slightly off kilter, but we did meet today. Alex Dizio is the finance director and has been doing a really nice job. This is his third full year with the school department and has done, I think, a really good job of not only just understanding the numbers, but spending time in schools to try to understand what the programs look like and what the needs really are. And so appreciate Mr. Dizio and the work he's doing. I use the analogy, we're currently in fiscal year 26, so we're flying this plane and trying to land this plane at the same time, build the plane to take off for July 1st. So it's a busy time of year with a lot of different competing meetings and priorities. So with that being said, we have a finance subcommittee meeting next week, March 2nd, and we will endeavor to present a rough budget to the finance subcommittee next week. And then to the full committee at our next school committee meeting. So March 10th is the goal, to present to you a draft. And I want to reiterate that it's a draft because it can change. I think for those of us that have been here, it changes almost to the minute we finally submit. But I will tell you that we have been working hard with the principals, with the department heads, looking line by line by line to see what was spent in FY26. Do we need to ask for the same, less, or more for FY27 on line items, and looking deeply at personnel requests as well. So we did have a meeting this afternoon at City Hall with the mayor and some of the other people from his office to have a preliminary discussion surrounding FY27, try to get a sense of where we're trying to get to by May 1st. And so it's a productive conversation. Again, my job is to advocate for the school department. I understand that the mayor has to look out for the fire, the police, the DPW. There's a bunch of different city departments that come into the pie. So with that being said, the 10th, and the March meetings typically, this will be a standing
Update.
agenda item. And so I would envision having some subcommittee meetings in between some of these. We just haven't set the dates on these yet, but I don't want to pretend that we're not going to have those. And then, so we have the two March meetings set as an agenda item, and then ideally we'd like to get pretty close to a final budget number with you on the 14th. So that gives any time to make any adjustments between the 14th and the 29th. So again, we are cautiously optimistic. Again, the conversation this afternoon was productive. I do think that there is a commitment, and we've seen it over the past couple of years, to the schools. So that they've invested heavily in the schools, and I'm grateful for the city's support. Our schools are in great shape. Our staff, some of them are still here, are doing really yeoman's work, and it's a pleasure to advocate for what our kids need. And so with that being said, foreshadow that the needs this year aren't as great as they've been in the past because we've made the investments. So we don't need to keep making the same number of sizable investments year after year. And so we have a meeting, it's not here, it's not next week with principals, so we'll review with them where we are and try to fine-tune some of their asks and make priorities that align with our district strategic plan. So that's the timeline for FY27, and happy to answer any questions people have.
Are there any questions from the committee? Ms. Witzel?
Hi, just a thank you for putting this together, and a reminder to the community as well as you're looking at these dates, and keeping in mind the finance subcommittees, that those are also public, so anyone that wanted to attend those to learn a little bit more about the budget process, you're always welcome to attend, and those are typically in the afternoons. So thank you, and I'm happy to hear the meeting today went well, and I know from the finance subcommittee, you really going through the budget with a fine-tooth comb, so much as like sharing teachers, you were saying, having a history teacher also teach gym, so we're really trying to be creative about the ways that we utilize the budget and the people that we have, and of course, thank you to the city as well for their funding of the budget these past few years and continued support.
Yeah. The word that I think about is reallocate, if possible. So when people retire, is there a way to not lose a position, keep that position, and if we need to your point, be flexible in what we're doing. It's not optimal to have a history teacher also teach phys ed, but we made it work.
And I think it's a testament to our staff members that are
Absolutely.
so resilient and able to wear shorts and then polo.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Any other questions, comments, concerns? Great. Thank you, Dr. Crowley. Moving on to subcommittee reports, finance and personnel.
We did meet on the 18th at 3:30 here at the Joyce. In attendance was Superintendent Matt Crowley, Finance Director Alex Dizio, Assistant Finance Director Patty McKinnon, school committee members Jesse and myself. Maria was absent that day. The topics we discussed, the warrants and the balance of accounts. Warrant 1 was for $2,071,875.13. Warrant 2 was for $781,380.87. Warrant 3 was $399,467.13, and warrant 4 was $1,890,112.19. So I need a motion to approve those.
Any action on the warrants?
So moved.
And do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it.
And the balance of accounts seemed to be in order, and they were accepted as well. The questions were submitted to admin, and answers were found to be satisfactory. The follow-up questions were concerning the therapy dog, and adding that to a budget if we want, have the principals discuss where that's going to be, since we saw the bill for the Goodyear School come in. So we just need to know more follow-up on that. And the use of the stadium, for those of us that were around since we built Woburn Memorial High School, to eliminate the word stadium in any of our bills so that we don't get hammered on that, and call it the athletic field, so we'll be in good shape with that. And the purchase of the Chromebooks that now are replacing the ones that we did 5 years ago, but that's also by a grant, so we're in good shape for that. And then we discussed the budget schedule, and it will come to the full committee on March 10th, and we'll get on March 2nd. And then the superintendent, finance director, and the full admin team have been meeting with the principals, department heads, just as Dr. Crowley had spoken about. And there will be some additional staff requests, the AP at the Shamrock Elementary School, an additional nurse at the Kennedy Middle School. Presently, there's only one there, where there's 2 here, and an additional RISE teacher. And my building subs is going to hopefully be in there, but we'll see if that makes it. And we adjourned at 4 p.m.
Excellent, thank you. Any questions for the finance and personnel subcommittee? Seeing none. Community Relations Subcommittee.
Have not met, Madam Chair. Trying to get coordinated with everybody.
Okay. We had, I had asked that everybody submit a policy based on their subcommittees and what the sort of purpose and the idea is. Do you have that?
I will have that tonight.
Perfect. And so I have the other ones. I will share them out, and we will table them next meeting and go over all that. They are lovely. Speaking of community relations, I have a number of items for Mr. Mulrennan. So previously, Ms. Wetzel had requested that Mark Camaro from the Chamber of Commerce come to a meeting. I think that would be a good option for community relations. And Mr. Mulrennan, you actually asked about Ashley Charay, our Rec Commission rep, an update from her. I think that would be good as well. Deb Davis from the Vogue, you had also mentioned. I think that fits nicely with community relations. And Ms. Nagel had requested both Woburn Welcomes and the Council of Social Concern, community partners, great resources. So I think that not all at the same meeting, but at some time in the coming months, sprinkle those around, and
That would be interesting.
excellent. So great.
Duly noted.
Thank you. How about curriculum and data trends?
We haven't met since the last meeting.
And policy?
We haven't met since the last meeting, but we're going to meet. Agenda is forthcoming this week on Friday, March 6th at 8 a.m. here in this conference room. And going forward, we will be looking to meet every other Friday, trying to create that cadence at 8 a.m. in this conference room. Is this where I bring up? Yes, amazing. So bear with me as I still learn when we discuss and table and all of this. But so at the last full school committee meeting, we tabled BEDC, which is the school committee quorum policy, with the recommendation to remove it. And so can I make a motion?
I don't know if you have to make a motion, or we just, because it's tabled.
Is there any discussion on this matter?
You can ask for discussion. And could you explain why we're removing it?
Yes, of course. That would be very helpful.
We're not doing it with quorums.
Yes, right. We have also policy BEDF, and BEDF is the voting method policy. And the language that is included in BEDC, school committee quorum policy, is already reflected in BEDF, voting method policy, making it absolutely redundant and useless, which is why we're recommending that it just be removed, because it's already covered in that language. So any discussion, or would anyone want me to read it? Would that be necessary?
It just says what a quorum is.
It's like a line. Any discussion?
No? All right, great. So we will move that for action on the next agenda.
Yes.
And anything else from policy?
No, that is it. I just to remind folks that, like Ms. Wetzel said, for finance and for every subcommittee meeting, that these are available to the public. So come and join us, and we will be making use of public comment, room for public comment. So please bring any public comment.
Thank you very much, Ms. Wetzel, Ms. Nagel. Resources and capital planning.
We have not met.
John. I would like to also send to resources, make it rain. Eversource, at the suggestion of Ms. Wetzel, who, because Lenny Barnum had come before us to talk about the building of the new Mary D. Alta Vesta, how to get the EUI certification and make a carbon neutral building. So if you want to communicate that with Lenny, or however that would work, I think that would be great while we're at this step of the process. Student services and achievement.
Yes, we met today at 6, so I'll go over my notes at the next meeting, but just wanted to point out that the CPAC, their transition fair is going to be March 25th, so you can add that to your calendars. And it was noted, too, by the CPAC representative that it's great for all ages, not just your kiddos that might be in their junior, senior year of high school, because you have a lot of really wonderful organizations all under one roof. So even if you have a kid in the ECP, don't hesitate to stop by and meet like-minded people. So I'll have my full set of notes later, but I just wanted to get that on people's calendar.
Do you know what time? Because we have our meeting that night.
I want
it's 5 or 6.
I don't, but it's in the evening. I want to say it's typically around 6.
Okay, I think so too. And we can discuss that next week, next meeting, the 10th, before that. And of course, going to the CPAC website or Facebook page will give you that same information as well. Great. Any, so for correspondence, I have from Mr. Paul Scanlon from the Community Commission on Disability and Mrs. Rachel Kluberry regarding minutes. Does anyone else have any correspondence? Ms. Wetzel?
Yes, I was at the CPAC meeting yesterday, and Parks and Rec Director Rory Lindstrom was there. And the next inclusive playground design meeting for the new playground that they're going to build off Library Park, so the one next to the police station, is going to be Wednesday, March 18th at 6:15 p.m. at the library. So anybody in the community that would like to go and provide feedback, ask questions, or be part of the process as they start to build that playground is more than welcome to attend. And Parks and Rec will be sending more information about it as well.
Thank you.
And then I did.
Yes, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I just want to make sure I don't forget him. Please go ahead.
Oh, mine could be similar, but you reminded me, Dr. Crowley, when you spoke last time about Director Burnham and the DPW and the snow removal. So I don't know if that was what you were going to say.
Part of it, yeah.
Oh, well,
Go for it.
just thank you so much for all the work. I know it was a lot. Just shoveling my driveway was intense, so I can only imagine getting the school parking lots and the sidewalks and everything going. And the other thing I wanted to mention, in speaking with President Toro, the City Council, one of the things the city's working on is a map of when you can see what areas will be plowed, so that way community members can go on, and it probably won't happen until next year, but community members can go on and say, oh, okay, I know these places are going to be plowed in this time. So that's something that came up in my office hours a few weeks back. So just for anybody that does walk to school or enjoys walking or biking, something to know.
Awesome. Anything else?
After Mr. Crowley.
Dr. Crowley.
Dr. Crowley.
Sure. Just echoing what Ms. Wetzel said, I probably spoke to Lenny more than my wife over the past 48 hours, but I do appreciate deeply the work that he coordinates with everybody in Woburn, including the DPW. And so conversations with Jay Duran, who's the director of the DPW, there's a great partnership between the school department and the DPW. And Monday was a very challenging day. Our custodians were here from 7 to 3 on Monday. And in talking to them yesterday, they were describing the conditions, and I'm grateful to, they were away from their own homes to make sure that we were ready to open. So I'm genuinely appreciative of their efforts. And then I have a couple updates as it relates to the Woburn Memorial High School. The girls' hockey team was victorious tonight. They won 4-0 in the state tournament. The boys' hockey was supposed to be at 7 p.m. tonight. It was postponed because they're playing a team from the South Shore. So the game is right.
Yeah.
So the game is in May. No, the game is tomorrow at 4 p.m. here. It's a home game, and then tomorrow night at 6 p.m. the girls' basketball team is playing at home in the state tournament. And so it's a fun time of year for the high school athletes, and so go Tanners.
Excellent. Tanner. Thank you. Yes, Ms. Nagel.
With regards to this map, is it safe to assume that there would be also just coordination with the schools so that there can also be highlighted areas, or so people know what the progress is in the schools as well?
Yeah, it's actually a question I asked them how that
Okay.
would work. I think it's very new, sort of on the horizon thing that's being worked on, but I'm sure that they would reach out to Dr. Crowley or something. But it's, yes, I would assume that there is without speaking for somebody else. But it would have to be thought of, because we obviously have crossing guards and things like that at various points that we would want to make sure we're plowed. So
amazing.
That could be some feedback for your city councilor as they build this too, as well. Any other correspondence?
Just to update on the college and transition fair that CPAC has put on, it is 6 to 8 on the 25th.
Beautiful. So we can pop in there and then come to our meeting. Excellent. Anything else? I will remind members that last time we had substantial snow, I was directed to write letters of thank you to Jay Duran and Lenny, and they were very appreciative of our appreciation. So if anyone wanted to make said motion again.
So moved. Second.
A second. Any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. We'll do that mañana.
Something that just to bring up what you were saying about our custodial staff being here away from their families, I think a lot about in the blizzardy conditions that we were experiencing, having to move, like having to drive in or even take public transportation, and how dangerous that is. And I don't know, having to have made decisions for my own staff about not being able to be present and providing services for their own safety, and then having then to have staff that's what they end up doing, I think is also just so commendable. And I think for me, like, I think a lot about the work that happens, but not sometimes about what it takes to get to the place to make the work happen and the value in that. So just extensive gratitude.
Yeah, no, I think they appreciate hearing that because, they really do work hard. And yesterday, driving to schools, the schools were in great shape, by 2 o'clock yesterday. And it was nice that it was sunny. That helped.
Yeah.
But we were, by 2, we were ready to go yesterday. And so it was a tribute to their hard work.
Excellent. Anything else for correspondence? Seeing none. Future agenda items. I went over mine, so anybody else have anything? No, not at this time. And with that, I will take, because we do not have an executive session this evening, I will take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it.
Well, happy
And
birthday.
7:50.